right. Looks good. Sounds
All right.
good. All right. Hey, we're at the ASMR podcast.
Hey.
Courtney always does ASMR.
Yeah.
She always does a wish. Why is it always the wishies?
So she either has like ASMR voice or she has like super loud screaming voice.
Exactly. I'm
All
either
Two
sensual
extremes.
or I'm really fucking loud.
You want to start this week or you want me to?
No.
I know.
never
I always
wanna
ask her and knowing she's going to say no.
Warning, this video contains adult content not suitable for children.
What's up? It's the Kokomo Press Podcast. I'm Jordan Granger, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host. Courtney's doing ASMR again. She can't. As soon as she gets, it's been so long since she's been on a mic. She has to do. Oh no, you were on a mic last night.
Yeah.
Either way,
I think it's
That's why I
the
have no
hangover.
voice.
She needs it
It's because I
quiet.
have no voice. So I'm
and we have a
screaming all
special
night.
guest today. You've already heard his voice. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is Justin Clark. Yay!
Yay.
Some claps. Yay! Yeah. Justin and I, we go way back. Like,
Yeah,
I think we've been friends officially like 10 years.
yeah. I would say it's probably
2012.
Probably a little longer than. Okay, so we were acquaintances there
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
while, and then we weren't friends for
Yeah.
a minute. And, yeah.
You know, I try not to talk about the bad things. I don't think about the bad. No, I mean, as in any group of friends, you go
Hey, I
through
was
up and
there,
downs.
too.
I know you were there,
Yeah,
and
that's
Maddie
right.
was
I
there.
was
We were
there.
all
We were
there.
all there.
But we've done a lot, man. As a group, the three of us. I mean, you were a part of the second iteration of the Right to Play Music when we did that together, and obviously you go to a lot of our band shows and you show a lot of support for he and I being artists.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's for us. It's not for Matt.
It's not for Matt at all. It's definitely not Matt.
I come for you guys.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, like, honestly, we've done so many things together. I was talking to Shelby this morning. She was like, "What are you guys going to talk about?" Because she always asks me, like, "What are you going to talk about with who you're going to have on today?" And I told her, I'm like, "I don't know. Justin has a pretty crazy story." I'm like, his house was the party house to go to when I first met him.
For a long time.
It's like we did Right to Play Music together. We've been in bands together. I was like, not only that, I was like, he used to stream, video games all the time. He has his own business. I'm like, this guy. I was like, you're pretty prolific. You just do a lot of shit.
I think it's the ADHD. I can't do one thing at a time. I do a million things at once. So
Yeah, I don't blame you there. That's you got that
Yeah,
issue too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's relatable.
Yeah. it's the following through with everything that's the problem. I can
yeah.
start anything
Oh,
I want.
we'll start all the stuff. I've started so many businesses.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the whole thing.
Well, honestly, it took me quite a while to figure out. Like, I wanted to start a business, but I just really didn't know what I wanted to do, and it took me a long time to figure out like something that I was like, hey, I could do this and not be bored of it, and not want to move on to something different. So.
The
Yeah.
problem is I start doing businesses with things that I like doing. So then like people start asking me to do them. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's doing my own cars that is the issue for me.
Yeah.
It's like I'll do anybody else's car, but then when Jessica's like, when are you going to clean our car? I'm like, it'll get done
get
at
it.
some point.
Yeah. It's like if you're a nurse and you come home and you have like a sick spouse. It's like, not again.
Yeah.
Poor nurses.
Working in the restaurant industry for a long time, it was like forgetting to eat or just like getting home and not
I got one of
not
those.
wanting to.
I got one of those upstairs.
anything.
One of those restaurant workers. You know what I'm talking about? She will. Like that's the craziest thing. Is like we had our baby and then she stayed home for like almost a year with the baby, which was like a blessing. Like we were able to do that, which you've had a baby, so you kind of know the vibes. But we had the baby and then she did all that, and then within like 3 months of back to work, she had like snapped back, and people are like, "What was your secret?" And she's like, "I don't eat because I'm working on the floor."
Yeah.
That's my secret.
Too busy to remember to take care of myself.
She's like, I might have ate. She was at Texas Roadhouse. So she's like, I might have ate part of a roll today.
Yeah, I mean, there were days that it was just like I was picking at French fries all day.
Yeah.
So like I would fight just enough of the hunger to not need to eat at work, and then when I get home, I'd just be like, I'm too tired to make food.
Yeah.
I'll eat tomorrow.
Yeah, with all the fasting shit that I did, I learned a lot about the hunger hormones, which are like ghrelin and leptin. And ghrelin like makes you feel like hungry, and then leptin makes you feel full. So you were feeding the ghrelin, but never the leptin. You were never full, but you were always feeding the hunger
Just a little bit at a time. No, actually, since the baby, since Jessica got pregnant, I don't look like it, but I've gained a lot of weight.
Yeah.
At home more. I worked an at-home
You
job
wanted
for a
to gain
while.
the weight.
I did. The problem is it's still going, and I'm like, all right, I'm at a comfortable weight now. We can stop. What is happening?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you've always been pretty thin. You've always been pretty thin.
It's just my metabolism.
Yeah.
I've always been able to eat a lot, but
Even your metabolism has ADHD.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Or ADD.
Bullshit.
It's like
I'm just eating like breakfast, lunch, and dinner now, where before it was just like one dinner and then a bunch of snacks all day. So and I didn't cut out the snacks. I just added the lunch and breakfast.
Yeah. When you start to eat a fully rounded day, you're like, man, I'm gonna gain weight.
Yeah.
That's like Shelby loves like at night she'll get off work and she hasn't eaten all night, obviously, other than like some I think they have her work now. They have like fries, like funnel cake fries, which are awful, but they're amazing tasting, but they're awful
Funnel
for you.
cake fried like churros.
Like little funnel cake, like fried piece, like dough bread, and then you can dip it, and they have like a caramel applesauce, cinnamon caramel. It's so
I'm
good.
so hungry.
She at the
Yeah.
road-
Does
she-
it
she
help?
at the
So
Roadhouse?
upsetting.
No. She's
Where's-
downtown at
Oh.
Fox's Trail.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you told me that last night.
Yeah.
Can't remember anything.
She's been killing. Yeah, we had a pretty great night last night. she's been killing it there. She loves it there, and it's like a local business. So
Yeah.
it's not like she's working for like a corporation anymore. Which it's not necessarily bad to work for like a corporation necessarily, but
Yeah, I tried that and I picked the wrong business.
yeah,
I really enjoyed the job and not working for a corporation, but definitely not the type of people I wanted to work for. So.
it's like it just depends on the person. Like she's lucky that the group that she has, they're like pretty tight knit, and it sucks to hear it, but they do we're kind of like a family.
Yeah.
It always sucks when it's a family owned business. I'm okay with it. When it's a corporation, like
Yeah.
we're all a family, it
Like,
feels
no, you're
kind of
not.
like insidious. You know,
Like the person telling me we're a family could be replaced tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Yeah.
bye, Dad.
yeah. Bye, Dad. I'll see you later. Dad went to get milk and cigarettes. He's gone forever. Now he's just at Chili's. He's
Yeah.
just at Chili's now. He just moved to
It's
Chili's.
his new family next door.
He's living with his new family, the next town over. That's hilarious. Well, I mean, we were trying to find a graphic for it, but I know one of the way like we had known each other from like shows and stuff, but you were in a band at the time called Awaken the Dead, and you guys got this huge like. Yeah, you could probably tell it a little bit better, but it kind of started a whole festival for us.
Yeah, so we'd been playing for a while at this point, probably like a year and a half, 2 years. We'd been a band for a long time. We took a whole year and wrote music before we even played a show. And so we had a decent following, and we lost our practice space, so we moved into like a rental house. The landlord was okay with us practicing, and the police came and told us, hey, it's too loud. It's against the noise ordinance. You can't be practicing like this. And so I, being rebellious like I am, I looked up the noise ordinance to find out where is the loophole. So I did find you could get permission from one of the city boards to practice for a performance for forms of art, and music is a form of art. So,
Yeah.
I went to the board. I petitioned for a permit. They said, we've never actually given out a permit. We didn't know that it was in our noise ordinance that you had to come to us and ask for it. So we don't see a problem with you practicing. And I asked them, well, can you put it in writing? Because the police were very adamant about it's against the noise ordinance. And I wanted to make sure that when they came again, I had something in writing that said, this is okay. So they didn't put anything in writing for me. The very next week, we had band practice. The police came. I explained to them, the Board of Public Work and Safety has already told us that it's fine. They're who's in charge of the noise ordinance and getting the permit. And the police said, no, we're going to write you a ticket if you continue. So we continued.
Yeah.
And they wrote us a ticket. I fought the city for it for quite a while until the city got tired of me and threw the ticket away. But I decided I wasn't done.
Yeah. And that's kind of I have this photo I was going to bring up. This is actually the first Right to Play music festival.
Yeah, so we started doing shows on a monthly basis, raising money to do a festival to make sure that people in the community were aware of the way that the noise ordinance was written. It was written completely unfair, and even ended with like the very end of it stating that if any portion of the ordinance was found unconstitutional, you were still liable for whatever fees you'd accrued by breaking the ordinance. So it's like, so basically you're telling us if you're infringing on our rights, it doesn't matter, we're still going to pay.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make people aware of the way that it was written.
Well, I know when I showed up to the first festival, I was kind of new to the group. I had just started getting into like the local music scene. I'd come back from the Navy and talked to Maddie and went to a couple shows and stuff. And when I showed up, they're like, "Hey, do you want to do the table that has the petition?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll sign it." And I sat at the table and people signed it all day. And then a year had gone and we had done, actually, the funny thing is we had done even more shows. Like this was the first festival. This is where we did the first petition. That you can kind of see it's like it's a lot of young people, like a group of young people. There was a lot of people like having a great time. I loved that festival, the feeling of it. It felt really, really grassroots.
You were like the first person there. We got there to set up, and you were setting at a picnic table, like just waiting.
Yeah. Well, my son was with Nathaniel was with his mom, and I just was bored. I just remember being like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out all day at this festival and at least be like useful, because I'd got out of the Navy and I was like, I'm got to meet new people, got to do different things, got to get back into music. And I just remember being like, this is awesome. This is so cool. They're really fucking doing this shit. I just remember being like, this is actually happening. They're putting a whole festival.
It was fun to put together.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't miss the stress.
No,
sometimes it was pretty stressful.
And the second one was like even. I mean, it was even bigger.
We went. I feel like we went a little too hard on the second one. We stretched ourselves pretty thin.
Yeah, we Sound of Music gave us a guitar to raffle away, and a little girl we all know, Allie, won it, and bands. I mean, here's literally that's you right there. Right there.
Oh yeah, that's the O's in Paradise.
Yep, that's you right there playing. It was pretty fun. We had Bo Jackson 5. Actually, I think this is me up here.
The O's in Paradise is a band that I've done pretty much since high school. We don't ever play together. Just every once in a while, we're like, let's play.
Let's fucking do it. I have that. Oh, actually, I didn't even realize that I singled that photo out already. Like I had that one where you guys are all together here, just the photo of you guys, and and then we actually started doing a lot of shows at Goblin Games too. So I have a couple of photos from that.
Oh yeah.
Because that was like the next thing we did the first festival.
Cooper's Pub now.
Cooper, Wings, etc. Cooper's Pub it was a comedy club for a minute. But
There's always been live music there.
You can kind of see this collage was insane. I don't know why I did. This is like multi-layered, but you can see like.
I feel like the Naked Man. That's got to be like Al.
That's
gotta be when they played.
Yeah, that's when Al. Yep, that's definitely Al. And then here's a bunch of our flyers from the show, and then here's some more photos, and then obviously the big Goblin Games logo, because rest in peace Goblin Games. And then this was from a toga party.
There's a picture in there that is Wes.
Yeah.
I keep getting tagged in it. For the last couple of years, it keeps coming up as me being tagged in it, and I'm like, this is not me.
What, on the toga party?
No, it's like it's one of the smaller ones on back there towards the bottom.
Is it down here?
That one to the left.
That one right there?
Yeah.
They all think it's you?
Oh no, that's not it. It looks similar to that. It's one of those shows.
Yeah, but you got tagged in it.
But yeah, I get tagged in it all the time, and it's Wes.
This collage is crazy. I forgot I had this collage because I made it when we did the second go around with Right to Play with Cortni, actually.
Yeah, that was fun, but it wasn't as much fun, man.
No, it wasn't.
It's because I was there.
No, it wasn't your fault.
Just feel like we were on top of things when we were doing it before we took the break doing it, and then when we came back, it just wasn't as.
I feel like nobody was into it.
It wasn't as professional. It wasn't as put together. I mean, we had like the first go around. We had like stuff we sent to the bands. We had the load-ins figured out, taped off on the floor before people got there. I mean, it was a lot of work, but we also had like
a group
and like hundreds of people going to the shows. It was like we had to be on top of things.
The location also, that was a huge factor, because there's nothing wrong with we did it at Main Street Skate Park, which was DK's before. And now I don't even think it's a skate park. It's like a resale store.
That's what we were having a problem with, is finding somewhere to do it.
Yeah, but when we had Goblin Games downtown, the location, the fact that on Saturday they did like Friday Night Magic, but they didn't do anything on Saturday nights. So like they would have people maybe playing games in the front, and then we would do these whole shows, and we would only charge $5 for 5 bands, and it was like, honestly, it was a deal. And then we had like a great group of people at the time. Like we were all hanging out, and we would do like plan it from meetings every week. We'd get together and we'd plan what we were gonna do for the month.
We had an intern. that did like her senior project was interning for us.
That was crazy.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
And we had what Patrick Shockley, we had like Kibbles was part of it, me, you,
Mark
Steve,
Steve. Yeah.
Maddie Kroll, of course, and Derek Wendell. We had a group, and that was just the people that were like helping plan it, like at the
Yeah, that wasn't even like the staff. That was just like the board of directors.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we were really serious about it. We were killing it for a really long time there. Like and I mean, as anything goes, eventually people get older, people find other things to do, and then you need to rebuild with younger kids, and we're all older at the time. So really, what we need is a young person right now listening to like restart this shit up, but call it a different name, have it be your own thing, but start some shows up, and
we'll help you plan.
We're old people, but we'll come out
give you
and
some
plan.
advice.
Have jobs and kids. And stuff.
Yeah, all the shows we do now, we still have to plan them. It's just not.
That's why we do them
big
so
scale.
like.
That's with the band. I just let Matt plan them. You guys tell me when the shows are, and I just make sure I'm available. I don't have time for all of that.
Yeah, I always end up having to do more of it than like we did when we did the show with Corey. Corey got us to do the show at downtown. And then the other one was when Mike hit me up, actually. So we ended up playing there twice. But I did like a big thing for our band. Like, I don't know if you saw the end of year thing I posted.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I just like I thanked like the couple venues we played at the last year. And then I gave a shout out to like the people that have showed up and like listened to us. And to me, it's like, thank you guys.
It's weird that we've been doing it for as long. Like, it doesn't feel like it's been years at this point. Like,
it is, though.
And even before it was the complete Graygarden that it is now, it's like 2 years before we came back, it was me and you and other musicians.
Yeah, I had a photo of that, but I think I lost it. I had it in here.
And I liked that. It just like the reliability of like the people that we were jamming with just wasn't there.
And it was kind of like a perfect storm. Like the effort we were putting into it was always more than what it should have been, because we had like one of the members lived like really far, like two of the guys lived pretty far out of town. One guy lived in like Gas City. One guy lived like out in like Walton. Is that Walton?
Yeah, that's when we would drive to Walton.
So we would drive to Walton to practice, and we'd practice in like in the middle of the heat of the summer in a like a garage with no air conditioning. Like there's one video I have of us somewhere in my stuff where like we're just all drenched in sweat, like literally covered, like we're in a pool, but we're just sweat.
We had a guy that would barely show up, and when he did, he was
very talented.
Super talented. Just couldn't keep his nose clean, man.
Yeah, things like that.
I'm hoping he's doing well now. I've heard he's.
I saw him recently. He was over at Matt's.
I've seen him a couple of times, and he looks much better.
Yeah.
Like
whenever I see him and he's a little chubby, I'm usually like, good.
Like you're taking care of yourself.
You're taking care of yourself. Yeah. But here we go. I'll pull this up just so people can see. This is actually, you can see the new release of the album. This is our album that we did this last year, and here's the whole group of guys we roll with now that we do shows with.
You guys did the post of us being on the Ricky Lake show.
Yeah.
I had to reel my parents back on that. My parents did not realize that it was a joke, and were super proud and sharing it. And I had to text my dad and be like, "Yeah, that's a joke." I was like, "So you're not going to be on the show?" I was like, "I don't think the show exists."
I made it all up.
Yeah, they very much believed that. They were.
That makes me actually happier. No.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, I don't even think they shot Ricky Lake in Chicago. They shot Oprah Winfrey in Chicago, so like I threw that out there.
I mean, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, my parents.
It would be weird to be the house band.
Like, congratulations, like Sharon. This is my son's band.
This sounds terrible, and I don't mean it in a negative way at all. But like the day that I posted that, I'd been thinking about doing something with our band on the page, like just because I knew that we'd be cool with it. Like we would know, nobody in our band would be like, "Man, that's cool." Some bands might. Yeah. So I was like, "This is ripe. There's some fruit here."
So I just let you guys do whatever. I'm just there to play.
I'm like, "This is ripe fruit. Let's do a joke." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna post this." And that day, Switch, is that his name? Switch from the Ellen DeGeneres show, her DJ / dancer. He had passed away. And it sounds terrible, but that's what kind of gave me the inspiration to do like the house band for like a show. Okay. And so I was like, what if they revived Ricky Lake? But like Ricky Lake has like gray, like white hair now. Like she looks so much older than she was when we were kids. She was like a young lady. And I was like now she's gray. We're Graygarden. I'm like, there's so many puns I can make there. And so
she probably have a good show now.
I know, it'd probably be good as fuck.
You know,
I'll do it.
Ricky Lake, you bring your show back. You got
Call
a house
us.
band.
Yeah, we've already got the gig.
Watches
Yeah.
this podcast.
She should watch it. You know what I mean? She watched Hair. She made me watch
Maybe just
Hairspray.
tag her
So-
in the
Yes.
Yeah, we'll tag her in the
Yeah.
post. Ricky Lake, thank you. Shout out for letting us get a show on. I just thought I was just like, this is hilarious. And then there were so many puns and jokes. And then I called Maddie Kroll Marty Cruel.
Yeah, Marty Cruel.
Marty Cruel. And then he was the first one to see it and share it. I was like, yes. I was waiting for
so
Maddie
many words
to
that
notice it.
start with E.
I know. I was like, yeah, I was excited. I'm elated. So many words that start with E. And then he shared it and put a bunch of more E words. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. The love of your life. I saw your guys' kiss photo from last night. You know, you guys.
I got my first New Year's kiss.
Aw, so gay. I'm
It's
just
so
kidding.
gay.
Gay in the good way.
Yeah,
you know?
Jessica was passed out by New Year's. We went and picked the kid up and went home, and she laid down with him and was out by like 11:30.
You gave her. He said she was out by midnight. What he was saying was he gave her the old Cosby New Year. He was like, "Here's a little drink for." I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're the worst.
I know the Cosby New Year. Well, I didn't get back from your guys' house till like almost 3 a.m. Like we were like eating a bowl of cereal at 3 a.m. upstairs. Shelby and I just being
It was cookies for me.
cookies.
Yeah.
We stayed
That's
up and
homemade
watched
cookies.
Anchorman too.
Oh shit, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we what did we put? I put on Auntie Donna's Playhouse. You guys ever watch that show? It's the worst show ever. Don't watch it. But the first episode of it's kind of like I Think You Should Leave. It's like little skits, but these three guys live in a house together and they do a bunch of stuff. It's produced by Ed Helms. It's on Netflix, and they do the first episode. They open up with everything's a drum, everything's a drum, and they're just drumming on everything. And then they find a pot and they're like, Brian, you told me everything was a drum, and then they freak out I left my family because you said everything was a drum, and it's like a very stupid slapsticky show. But I'm making her watch it last night, and she looks up at me maybe 10 minutes in, and she's been watching it, and she looks over at me, she's like, "What the fuck do you have me watching?"
So turn this shit off.
It took her that long.
Yeah, she she watched it, she was like, "This is stupid." She's on her phone, but she's watching it, and then she's like, "This is still going? I thought this was a video. I didn't realize this was a whole TV. We're on episode 3." And she's like, "What are you doing to me?" I'm like, sorry about that. Yeah, Brian told me they're filming season 3 of I Think You Should Leave right now. I don't know if have you seen I Think You Should Leave?
No,
You gotta check it out. You've seen it.
Have I?
Yeah, it's there's too much fucking shit on me. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
that
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
They're doing season 3 right now. Tim Heidecker,
great.
who's a comedian, he's always in one skit every season, and he said he was on his podcast and he said that he just filmed his skit for that. So I'm like, yes, they're doing it. But it's Tim Robinson. He was on SNL as a writer in the background for a while.
I think I may have seen something about
Yeah.
it before, or
They're just
seen
the
a
stupidest
piece of it.
The most popular one I would say is probably where he's in the hot dog suit and he's like, "We're all just trying to figure out who did this," which they make fun of politicians all the time because he a hot dog car drives through a building and then he's standing there in a hot dog thing "We're all trying to find who did this, who was it?" And it's you're in a hot dog suit, bro. It's a hilarious skit. The whole show is so stupid. But yeah, they're filming that. But to me, honestly, I'm excited because I was gonna pull this up to talk about this a little bit. I know Courtney will be excited that we're talking about Deducini Alfredo, the new
so excited.
movie written by Courtney Rich. And when we say written, loosely written.
No.
I mean, she wrote it
Are
all.
you a fan of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we watched it
Yeah,
too.
I was gonna say the concept reminds me of
we did.
Thanksgiving.
No,
Yeah.
we watched it after I had already written this.
How did you
It
find
was,
out about Thanksgiving? So did you write this and then somebody was
No,
like,
I
"Hey,
wrote
you
it,
should
and
check out
then
this
it was
movie."
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy told us.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He's into weird
Mhm.
stuff. That's a very weird B-list
So now
movie.
everybody keeps sending us more movies to watch, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic because they're my favorite.
Yeah, Rubber.
We
Deducini
watched-
Alfredo.
What was it? Suicide or
The sofa
We
one.
watched the sofa one.
Killer sofa.
It was okay.
But it's a recliner.
Yeah,
Right? That's what Matt was saying last night.
Well, that was the joke because this one's about killer spaghetti, but it's called Deducini
Yeah,
Alfredo.
I kept thinking that.
It was
like,
Satanic Panic we watched, and it was terrible.
Oh yeah.
Not in the good way.
Okay.
Don't watch that one.
Don't watch that one.
They were trying to be too serious.
No,
Oh, they
yeah,
were
I've
really
got to
taking
see
it serious.
some stuff as it's being edited, because the band and being close to you guys, and
Oh my God, it's
when
so
I saw the
good.
cover, I was like, it's not Alfredo.
It's
Like,
not
it's,
That's
it's
the
spaghetti.
joke.
It's like
I
it's
made
not
that joke
Alfredo.
before we even knew that it was gonna. I was like, we have to have a noodle, but not spaghetti.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was telling
Well,
them so.
Alfredo is the sauce. It's not even a noodle.
Yeah, fettuccine would be the
yeah.
fettuccine.
The fettuccine is
Alfredo. Well, originally it was fettuccine Alfredo, and then they actually changed it to Alfredo. And I
Yeah.
didn't know you guys
Oh,
were gonna
yeah,
do
yeah.
that until later on. And then when I saw it, I was like, we were joking. I kept telling them over and over again. I was like, there's so many meta jokes that I feel like you guys are gonna. It's only gonna be us that gets them, and then everybody else. And I was like, we'll just figure it out. And it was supposed to be like a 5-10 minute skit. Now it's
Yeah,
a
it was
30-minute
supposed
movie.
to
There
be
were some
one
pretty
night.
good jokes. I've seen, a decent amount of it in editing, and yeah, there's some pretty good jokes.
It
It's
was
pretty
me
funny.
and Matt were
I'm
in the
excited.
pool. We were
Yeah.
like trying to come
Little
up with like
cringy.
stupid
A
movies.
little cringy. Yes, it's supposed to be cringy. Yeah.
And we were like, let's just do it in one night.
Yeah.
And then we ended up buying props.
And I remember
planning
specifically telling you
everything,
guys,
and-
there's no possibility we're doing this in one night. You guys, no, yeah, we'll just shoot it real quick in
Yeah.
one night. Ended up being spread over like 2 months.
It's
like
turned
6
into something
different films.
completely
Like, and that's not even the editing or any
No,
the
Yeah.
trailer, any of this.
We
Be
weren't
honest, you
gonna
guys
do any of
just
that.
you guys just stretched it out because you get to hang out together,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
gives
like you're like, you
excuse.
know what, we'll do this again.
Majority
Like,
of the
maybe
time
should
we were
change this.
like filming. It's just me having to redo everything, and
Yeah.
then everybody sitting around adding more to the movie that we
Adding
didn't
more
need.
jokes. Yeah. Oh, we needed all of it. See, my whole plan from the get go was okay. Courtney's writing this.
No,
it's
I
her-
did write it.
It's her concept, and she wrote out like but like no dialogue. She didn't write a
Yeah,
single.
I heard
dialogue.
Matt-
We don't
Matt-
need dialogue. We don't need a
Matt was like,
script.
yeah, I wrote out like the dialogue and everything, and she's like, well, I had stuff written down like the scenes and stuff, and he's like, yeah, but there's like no dialogue.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
just
need
like,
dialogue.
This scene happens. This scene happens.
It's unscripted.
Yeah. And then we ended up writing so many jokes between me, Jesse, Matt. We just ended up throwing some
Oh,
jokes.
yeah.
Courtney threw in a lot of jokes. Jeremy, and then Adam Kroll, he fucking killed it.
Oh yeah,
He did a great job. He was so funny in it, and I was so surprised because I've never seen him act or do anything like that. So when I saw him doing it, I was like, actually, I pulled Matt aside and I was like, he's killing it. Like he really is. Like you gotta let him do his thing, and then we'll reel it in at the end. And then he ended up doing a really great job. And then Jasmine coming in
Yeah.
clutch with a couple of hilarious I'll just hang out, just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Like her little lines, they're great because like you don't expect it from her. Like
Yeah, I love that. Sherry did it. That's one of my favorite lines where he's like, Sherry did it. Yeah, I can't wait for the
didn't.
movie. I didn't do it. It's such a stupid little campy film.
So when do you guys release the movie?
We haven't we haven't nailed it down. So if you're watching this, Mike Wilson, I'm gonna see if maybe we can get Mike to let us do a premiere at his.
Oh,
at his
that'd be
place.
cool.
And then our
wanna
bands,
play? You want to play? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already
bands
had
are
that
gonna
I'm
play. Yeah.
itching for some shows this
Well,
year.
we figured we'd double dip because it's time for. I got this. I was gonna show this too. Look, oh, there he is.
Ooh.
That's you. And then I got this is a little behind the scenes. This is for the people. That's all you get. You don't get any more than that.
That's my least favorite song to play live. Literally my least. Actually, no, I take that back. Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears, pretty rough.
Least favorite to play.
Yeah, to me
It's
they're
not
all
rough for me.
fun.
Bad News Bear is boring.
It's
for
just
me.
boring.
There's I do all of the subtle things in the background, and it's just it's boring for me.
Yeah, Bad News Bear for me is so wordy. So every time I do it, I'm always like, oh, here we go.
I was never a fan of it. It's
Yeah.
grown on me,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's just like
To
there's
me, I
something
love
weird
the
about
recording
it.
of it almost more than I love when we do it live.
It does.
The recording slaps pretty hard. But I think that it's some songs you do, they feel better in a studio.
So I'm a weirdo, and what was your top listen to band this year through Apple Music?
Band, actually, our band was
Our
top.
band, yeah. Okay, good. Then I'm not that
Band,
weird.
okay.
I was like, okay, my own music is my most
A lot of
listened to
random
album.
music. I had a lot. It was in my top 5, but a lot of random music was it wasn't bands. I think the only band that even made my top 10 besides Graygarden was Ants From Up Here.
It was us,
No Country,
and then Bayside, and then Weezer.
Bayside was on mine too. Yeah.
And
Weezer.
I think Weezer only because we were going to do that Halloween show, and I was just cramming listening
Yeah,
to as
no.
much as I could.
I listened to a lot. I thought it was going to catch up. I think I just listened to way too much The Weeknd. I love that album so much when it came out.
I was literally telling Jessica earlier today that I think you and her have a lot of similar musical interests.
I wouldn't be surprised because we were talking just a
Yeah.
little bit of the back and forth during the show.
She said he's got a little soul.
Yeah. Well, that's why I remember I was at work one day and I was working with these girls and this girl that I worked with, she was kind of new. I kind of knew her a little bit. I knew her dad. Her dad's Randy Drake. So Mandy Drake is her name. So Randy Drake ran that bar, and we did a couple of shows with him there. And I was talking to her, and she was FaceTiming another girl who I went to school with, and she was like, "Is that Jordan Granger?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was just joking around. She goes, man, if you listen to him sing and you close your eyes, he sound like a black man." She was like, "He sound black," and I was like, "Sometimes it depends on the song." I'm like, maybe, but I was laughing so hard just because I was like, I wasn't expecting her to throw that one out there.
Yeah, Jessica was asking where you learned to sing. She was like, "He's got a really good voice. Where you learned to sing?" I was like,
Taught
himself.
Taught myself.
Yeah.
I like being the center of attention.
Yeah.
No, I learned on the church.
I love that
on the
you
church
always
bus.
do karaoke songs with Shelby that are like way out of her range.
It's
Like just so
give her-
you can like.
no, that's not fair because I told her like 50 times, I'm like, pick a song for us. She's like, I don't know what to pick, and then I try to pick songs that aren't hard. Like I was like, let's do Forgot About Dre. Like it's just rapping. There's no singing. It's not me being like, I'm a good singer. And she's like, no. So then I'm like, what about, okay, let's do a popular song that everybody knows, that'll be fun, crowd pleaser, that's not hard to sing. Wonderwall.
Like the ones that
She's
we were
like,
doing?
Like Wonderwall. Well, you guys were doing like girly songs. I'm not gonna go up there and sing
Backstreet Boys.
We weren't picking our songs.
Next time, the whole band's doing
Let's do
Backstreet
it.
Boys.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
we're each doing a
down.
part. Yeah.
You guys
I
always
don't
do
care.
too much Backstreet Boys and not enough NSYNC.
I like NSYNC too. I'll do any NSYNC. Just pick the song. Backstreet Boys their songs are easier to sing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're like more crowd oriented, like Larger Than Life, or like Backstreet's Back. All right. I just feel like
You just like to ask your friends if you're sexual.
I am my sexual mom. Yeah, that's the good
I think
shit.
Jeremy said no.
No.
That's
No.
yeah.
Yeah, we had like the whole group there, other than Ryan. Ryan was the only one we weren't able to get there last night
Yeah, I
from the
don't know
band.
what he was doing.
He was hanging. I was like, "What are you doing?" "I hang out." That's what he said.
Mhm.
Just kidding. the only negative about this new setup is I can't keep an eye on the time. So if we go too far over, I'm sorry guys. If we're like an hour and a half in,
If we go too far over, you just cut out the bad parts.
that's easy. Yeah, that's easy. Anytime Cortni talks, that's what I'll just watch her. Oh,
Cut the camera off of her every time she starts talking.
Yeah.
You got your controls over here. Just turn her down.
Just turn it up. What are your you got SpongeBob socks on?
Yeah.
Patrick.
Matt's mom got them for me for
Oh
Christmas.
shit, that's pretty cool.
You see my
Between-
new Crocs?
Yeah, you got your new fuzzy Maddie Kroll platform Crocs.
He got me winter Crocs.
She's got winter Crocs. She's got SpongeBob's.
Because I couldn't wear my
Socks.
Crocs anymore, so I needed winter ones.
Yeah, but are there still holes in them? Like, doesn't the snow still go in them?
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk up.
So
They're insulated.
okay, so the
Feel 'em.
snow goes in and it gets wet.
Yes.
And, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Aren't they soft?
It feels like a kitty.
I don't want to forget to mention. I do want to bring up OT Services, which is
Oh, yeah.
your business. I got a couple of photos here. Hopefully, I grab some good ones because I've got this one right here, where you had cleaned up a motorcycle.
Yeah, I've done a couple of motorcycles now.
That's badass.
Yeah, I honestly I really enjoy it. And like if you go to Harley to get your bike cleaned, it's like $300.
Jeez.
I mean, it's time. Time is money.
Yeah.
But
Everything
they're
at Harley is
taxing.
expensive.
There's
Yeah.
it ain't that much time.
And I got this one too. I thought this one was freaking great. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I got the stuff to do my own vehicle one time because I wanted to sell my car, and I thought I could probably get about $500 more if I just cleaned everything up and bought the stuff and did mine, and then I was like, I like doing this.
This is fun.
Yeah, well, I go back to the ADHD. Hyperfixation is like a real thing. You get like buried into things, and I would just start cleaning the dashboard with like little brushes, dude, and just like get lost in that world of getting all of the dust out of all the little cracks. And I was like, I really enjoy. Hyperfixation is like a drug. It's like,
Well, they say it's
You're
like
feeding yourself.
cleaning for
fantastic.
people on ADD is like finishing a task on like video games.
yeah,
Like,
you're
it's
like you're feeding
Yeah.
yourself dopamine.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. You ever watch those videos by that Huberman guy? You ever heard of him? Andrew Huberman.
I don't know. I watch a lot of people that talk about.
He does it. He does a lot of YouTube stuff. He made like rounds on all the podcasts. He was on like Rogan. He was like on.
Oh
everything.
no, yeah, okay, I know. It's kind of skinny guy, older,
kind of baldish.
Yeah, I know
and
exactly.
He's
what you're talking
he's a
about.
neuroscientist,
Yeah.
and he studies like dopamine and endorphins and serotonin, and he does. So he like explains how to detox yourself from like those things. Like if you get to the point where like. He's like, sometimes you can literally sit and think about all your plans. Like, I have all these great plans. That's the problem with New Year's, which, Happy New Year's. But that's one of the problems with New Year's is people make these resolutions and they sit and they think about all the things, all these plans they have. And that gives them the dopamine hit where they're like, oh, even just thinking about planning to change your life is enough. So that's when they stop.
Yeah.
It's all. So like if you have, they're like, one of the things you shouldn't do is if you have like big plans for your life, don't tell people until it's over.
Well, that's the starting tasks and then not finishing them aspect. It's like you're like, oh yeah, it's something new, interesting. I'm getting that dopamine, and then you stop getting the dopamine. You're like, yeah, this isn't fun.
This isn't for me.
Not doing it anymore.
This ain't my thing anymore.
I haven't run into that with the cleaning of the vehicles yet. Only if it's my own vehicle.
Yeah, because there's no time. There's no time.
There's no benefit for me other than it's clean. Like really money drives me.
The cash rules everything around me. Yeah. Check him out though. If you guys need your car done, OT Services. He actually, you did tell us a little bit about the crazy one you did.
Oh yeah. Actually, Ryan referred that one to me. Our bass player. He called me. And he was like, "Hey, how you do with like biological cleanups?" And I was like,
shit.
Well, it depends what it is, because if somebody shit themselves all over a car, that's not for me." And he said he had a buddy whose girlfriend went into labor on 465, and she had the baby in the passenger seat of the car.
Oh shit!
Which is a pretty messy cleanup. There's amniotic fluid stains. It doesn't come out of things. It
gets in there.
It makes like a white chalky. It looks like there's jizz on everything after it's dry. It's like just like a white chalky, like yeah. It looks gross. But yeah, I took on the car. He told me afterwards he everywhere he looked wanted to charge him $300 to clean the seat.
Jeez.
Like, and it's like, I could have charged him that because it was time. It took me. I had to take it in overnight. Take the seat out, do multiple cleanings, but like I don't really I did the whole car, and I charged him what I would have charged just for the seat. Like referral, nice guy, new father.
Yeah.
Christmas time.
Yeah, he didn't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not gonna be a dick.
It was a car that somebody gave birth in the passenger seat, and it was still cleaner than Cortni's. So.
I started fucking around with this for you because I was like, well, this might be cool.
So rude.
I was going to show you this. I
that's
took your original and I just put like soap suds instead of the toast, and I just put a clean car behind them. I was like, I was bored one day, and I was like, is there anything I can do?
I like that.
That gives me.
I like that you changed the toast to
exactly
the sponges. Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to change the graphic's so cool, and I know you paid for the graphic, and I don't want to like fuck up anybody's artwork, but I was like, if I did it like this, then it would like accentuate it and make it like repurpose it to something new.
I paid for the graphic actually for when I was streaming. That was my gamer tag graphic. I was going to mention to you, by the way, I do a package that's a yearly package you can purchase.
Yeah.
It's a one-time payment, and then you can get your car cleaned every single month.
There you go.
Ooh.
I like that.
It's much cheaper to purchase the package. It doesn't have to be the same car. So if you have a friend that you want their car cleaned for them, or as long as it's
so you got like a monthly appointment.
Yeah, it's a 12 cleaning packages. I'll clean one car a month. You don't even have to own the car. You just have to be the one that brings it to me.
Yeah, check them out, man. OT Services, seriously. Because I know the worst car you ever did. We all know by far. Besides
my own. I'll be honest. Besides my own was Cortni's.
Worse than the amniotic fluid.
Honestly, that woman was a trooper. That woman was a trooper. She kept everything into the seat and the rubber floor mat. Like she did an amazing job. Like
she was.
It could have been way messier. Yeah, like very targeted.
Yeah. She was very good at like maintaining the space.
And it was a Jeep, so the Jeep makes the seats able to be like folded down in different ways that let you get to all the cracks. So
that's not bad, except for your journey is
There's
the
probably a
hardest
lot
journey.
of fluids in there too.
A lot of
I think
crumbs.
what got me the most about the journey was when your daughter was upset that I cleaned up the candy sand box that she had. It was like what's the baby bottle pops, like
Yeah.
the sour candy sand.
Yeah.
She had it,
It was a sandbox.
in a cup holder.
How many rocks did you find in my car?
I don't know.
Let me just say, her daughter in question is like 13, 14 years old. This
Yeah.
isn't like a little baby.
Yeah, she was upset that I cleaned up her sand box.
It was probably actually sand.
Yeah. She's probably eating.
It was really sticky sand. It was
There was
pretty
probably
much
some candy in it.
pretty much solid, yeah, and it was blue. So that's just what made me think it was a baby
Sand art.
bottle pop. That's what it looks
It
like. Yeah.
probably was.
She had like little rocks and things
There was,
in
like,
it.
seashells in
yeah,
it.
no, yeah, it was legit like a Zen garden in your door handle.
Anyway, I knew you were gonna go through it doing her stuff. Yeah. OT services, check them out.
I tease her because she did me a favor and I did her a favor. So
Yeah.
like she promoted and I did it for free for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
So like I got
He got quite a few.
teaser. Yeah, I did. I had a couple people cancel, but which made me decide that when people book now, I got to take a deposit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it sucks. People
don't
always
like
ruin that.
I don't like doing that
Yeah.
because I don't want to take money from anybody if I'm not doing anything. But there were several times that I would book people and then I would turn down other clients,
And then
then the people would cancel last minute and.
that's a pain in the ass.
And I lose out.
Yeah. How's your guys' holiday? You guys, we've
Fantastic.
had a whole holiday
Pretty good,
slew
yeah.
of them. It's been like going since the beginning of like the end of October is like Halloween, and then you got like Veterans Day. Like what's the other one? Election Day. We had Election Day
Well, I
this
had a-
year.
I had a child just before Halloween,
know,
so I
that's
didn't do
crazy.
anything for Halloween.
What
but
was the birthday?
The 19th of September. So it's like
That's crazy.
Jessica's is the 13th, his is the 19th, and mine's the 21st. So we get them all out of the way
That's
in 2
crazy.
weeks and be done with it.
That's crazy. Yeah, my baby was born on the 7th of October, so kind of just a little bit after.
Mine's the 4th of October.
Yours is the 4th.
Elena and Alexis are both the 3rd and the 5th.
3rd and the 5th, and you're the 4th.
September. And I'm
Oh,
the
the
5th.
Oh, so they're the month before. Okay.
A lot of
Yeah.
babies born 9 months after the cold season.
Yeah. Well, it's like that there was, I think I read like something a few years ago that said that the most babies used to be born in like March, April, and it had to do with like harvest or something like that, or like July or something like that. It had to do with harvest. And then now the most babies are born in the end of September, October, and it has to do with the New Year and the holidays. So like
Yeah,
people are home
it's,
and they're
it's
like
cold
banging.
and everybody's together. It's like there's been a
It's
baby
cuffing
boom the
season.
last year because of COVID. Like everybody locked in their house. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
just making babies.
Well, to be
or
fair,
getting divorced.
we had a
I did both.
2020 baby. Yeah. You learn a lot. You learn a lot when you're stuck at home, real quick. But either way, I want to let you guys know Happy New Year from the Kokomo Press and the Weekly Plug. Woo! Yeah, they did a whole video yesterday. I was gonna mention that as well as they did their best of the year, and they released that this morning at noon. So on the 1st. So if you guys check that out, they did a whole year in review talking about a bunch of goofy stuff that happened in the last year, and you guys can watch that and see how that went. But yeah, it's good stuff. I actually had a good. They talked a little bit about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp stuff. They talked about the Will Smith slap. They kind of got into Kanye West, of course, because Elon, a little bit of everything. Britney Spears going crazy, like getting out of her conservatorship and then going crazy and like basically almost posting herself
All her
naked every
comments
day.
are shut off now.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Probably because people are like, "You're still crazy."
No, they all think that she's actually dead now.
Oh, she's dead now.
There's a conspiracy.
I mean, like
She's
somebody
actually dead and somebody
tells you
else's.
that you're crazy for over a decade. It's pretty hard not to believe it.
Yeah, she's been gaslit for like 10 years.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're making too much money. You're not able to handle it. Let me.
Do you
let me
know the
take care of you."
conspiracy? Did they do like a person swap, like a body swap? Is
No,
that
they
what
think that she's actually dead and somebody killed her, and they're posting old videos of her.
Oh,
Oh,
And
it's
they're,
not.
like-
So it's not a deep fake like the.
dang. That's
No.
not. That's too bad. I
It's
was
just
hoping.
people reading into her Instagram, and then they turned off the comments, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, they're trying to hide it."
I remember one time I showed up to a party with this guy, Justin Clark. I think it was you who came up to me and was like, "John Lennon." Okay, let me tell you. Or it was a Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
That's you
Yeah.
guys are all into
Paul
it.
McCartney's dead.
Yeah.
That's not the real Paul
Yeah,
McCartney.
that's what he
Look into it. It's real.
He told me-
That's not the original. He's Paul McCartney now, but he's not the original Paul
Yeah, yeah.
McCartney.
Is that like Avril Lavigne and that other girl,
Yeah.
Megan
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, it's a similar thing, but if you look into it, there's like a lot of details that you're like,
I thought that was pretty funny because I remember I was at the house on like was that on Walnut?
Oh, who knows? They were all party houses.
There was
it's
one
hard to
on
remember
Walnut.
anything.
I think it was Walnut where we went. It was either a Walnut or like Taylor or Mulberry. Or something.
Walnut is probably the greenhouse on
Yeah.
Walnut.
It was a big old creaky house, but yeah, I
Super
just
old,
remember
over 100 years old.
just playing beer pong in there all the time. I just remember that's what we would end up doing. I mean, we could talk about the Death Cup if you want to talk about that.
Oh, I mean that goes back to Awaken the Dead. We played so much beer pong. We wrote a song about beer pong. And it was literally every day. We had one of the houses across from the Hideout, the pizza place. We had an entire room that was just a beer pong room that stayed set up. Like we painted the walls and chalkboard and left all of the rules on the chalkboard all the time. And
That was the first house. That's the house where you and Christina were running the table all night and killing it. And I got beaten a few times, and then finally, he got a little bit lackadaisical, wasn't paying attention. You remember that shit?
yes, you put it right in my drinking cup. I was just holding my drinking cup, and for us, that's Death Cup.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
an
end of
automatic
the game.
That was one of
Like,
their house rules they had, that if you can get it in the cup that they're drinking out of, like the cup they're holding, then the game is automatically over. And they were like 19-0 or some shit like that.
yeah,
It was
we were. I
crazy.
mean, we had been winning for a while.
all night. It was crazy.
Keenan Morgan is the best beer pong partner I've ever had.
Yeah.
Ever. We went to a party that we got invited to, kind of third party ish, and we got on the beer pong table, played 13 or 14 games, drank all of the beer, and then left.
Yeah.
We're like, sorry guys, like
Yeah, have
we're
fun.
done.
We're gone. We're done. There's nothing else to do.
People we barely knew, like I said, we were the third party invite. They were like, hey, we're going to a party. You want to come? And then we just drank all of their beer.
The funny thing is, I think other than like Shelby's a pretty good partner. I usually do pretty well with her, but the person that I used to always play with when I'd go to the parties was Tyler Kaufman. Actually,
Yeah.
we
I was
used
just
to do
talking to
pretty
him the
well.
other day. Yeah.
We used to do pretty well together. Yeah. It was a fun house. You guys, we'd always come over there and have a good time, especially after shows and stuff. And it was always a fun hang. It was like Vale Street. I lived on Vale Street
Yeah.
most of my life, so it was like
Well,
right down.
honestly, we ended up as roommates, like on a weird coincidence. It was like we had girlfriends that were friends,
Yeah.
and we both went through breakups at the same time, and like we're like, "Whoa, crap! Where are we gonna live?" Both of us were just like nowhere to live, so we're like, "All right, let's just get a place together." And I enjoyed living with him. He's
Yeah.
a good roommate.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, we had some history now
Too-
because of everything, but
Too,
like
too many parties.
Yeah.
I feel like for me to, I probably wouldn't do it again.
Well, I remember you guys did
It
like what was it, Austin's going away party there? Was it Austin from?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you how many, like who's my sister's 18th birthday party was also Patrick Shockley's like 26th birthday
Oh, yeah,
party.
yeah.
That
That's a
was
crazy
crazy.
one.
Yeah, we had like
Yeah.
100 people. It was a duplex, and we had like 100 people packed into that duplex.
I remember those parties would get crazy. Me and
Yeah.
Patrick would always show up. Me and Patrick Shockley were like, we're the old guys, and we're coming through. It's the old guys coming through every time. You remember Patrick?
Do I remember Patrick?
Patrick Shockley?
Patrick who?
Patrick Shockley. He's a good buddy of ours. He had right to play with us. Great guy. He was in what was that band he was in?
Viracocha.
Viracocha, yeah.
Yeah,
with Maddie.
our drummer was in that band.
Yeah. Maddie, yeah. That was a fun band.
Oh, Ryan was in that band too.
Ryan, yeah,
Ryan
yeah.
was in it.
Yeah, so like two out of like that's the funny thing is that you and I started we're doing Graygarden. You guys were doing Graygarden, then I auditioned in and got in the band with you guys, and then we ended up kind of dropping out, not doing it for a while.
I say the way that I look at it, you and me were Graygarden the first time.
yeah,
like
yeah. We were the ones that were
Yeah.
really into it.
yeah.
Yeah, and Holden was great. He would show up, but he got sick of it after a while, and Devin was kind of got sick of it.
I
after
think
a while, and
Devin gave up on the people not being able to
Yeah.
stick to a schedule.
Yeah. It was rough, and then he ended up getting back with his old band, so he was just happy to go ahead and.
I talked to him recently.
Yeah?
He still plays music, but he's not playing with a band.
What was the band that
Um,
they recreated?
To my dismay.
To My Dismay. That's what it was.
Um,
I always wanted to play
yeah.
with them just because I was like, it'd be nice to
I mean,
do a show with Devin in some.
Devin is a
capacity.
very talented musician.
Oh, yeah, he's
Like,
crazy.
He's since the day I met him, like he's been
Yeah.
an extremely talented
yeah,
musician.
and a very smart guy.
Yeah.
A very smart guy, very funny guy. Like a lot of the jokes. Like he used to make things really fun, like just goofing. He
Yeah.
was a fun goof guy. Hey guys, it's your old pops. I'll never forget the video where he put his hat.
It's your dad.
It's your
You wanna
dad.
shoot some
guys.
hoops?
You guys want to shoot some hoops or? Yeah, he's funny, dude. That was a fun group. I mean, while it lasted, even with the couple of songs that we wrote. I mean, we have that one demo.
Yeah, I all the time think about like just doing one of those songs. Like
Yeah, I'd do it.
Echo Chamber.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep.
We could do that one. I don't think it would be that big of a deal. I don't think Devin would care.
No, I'd already asked them when we started Graygarden again with new members.
Yeah.
I'd asked them if we could keep everything.
Well, I know we talked a little bit about before Jeremy was even thought, because we kind of were still trying to figure out if we needed another guitarist just to give us a little bit more of a round sound. One of the things we thought about doing was getting a hold of Holden, and we talked to Holden about, hey, do you want to play? And he's like, I just don't have it right now.
He's got 3 kids and
I know.
he's
Remodeling a house.
He's a farmer and.
I get to see his house every time I hit that corner going to Harvest Fest.
Oh, he doesn't live there anymore.
No?
They bought another house. They
Oh,
live
shit.
out in the country now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did he fix it up as a duplex? Is it still like that?
No. He made it a single family home, but
Wow.
the other half of the house was like the bedroom. It was like the laundry
Does he
room
still
and
have the
bedroom
thing
all
there?
in one together. I think he still has the trailer
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some of the not Nelson's drum set.
Yeah, definitely not Nelson's drum
That was
set.
a big argument between him and Nelson. Nelson left it there for years.
Yeah, it was like years and years and years. Like,
Yeah.
well, that was the
he
funniest
told
thing.
Nelson multiple times. He's like, "You got to get this drum set, or it's not yours anymore."
Yeah,
And
yeah, and he
he
just
just never got it.
Didn't
Then he
worry
was
about
Then
it.
he was upset that Holden told him he didn't have it anymore.
I don't have your drum set, bro. Go put in your nuts on my drum set.
That was like 3-4 years later. He's like, "I'm supposed to move with it."
You're supposed to keep your stuff
Yeah.
forever. I'm a storage. Storage facilities normally give it up way quicker than I
charge
did.
you or take it.
It's like, what are you talking about? That's too funny, man. Yeah, we've got some pretty great memories with all that and all like between right to play music, Graygarden, doing all that stuff, and then just the parties and the good times, man. I remember hanging out with Sly at his house and playing. But I mean, the funny thing is that it was like the party would move, because I did it a couple times at my house, even when I lived at Morningside, and stuff. And then we did a couple of times we played down in the basement of Goblin Games.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Mhm.
Yeah. I got some pretty funny photos of you and Eli.
Where what?
Somewhere on my phone, somewhere in my cloud, there's pictures of you and Eli hanging out downstairs.
Weird.
You don't remember that?
Abrams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were all like, we had walked all the way to, because there was that Walgreens that's now like a treatment center downtown. Remember when it used to be a Walgreens, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was, Walgreens.
We walked to the Walgreens and then walked back, took a bunch of pictures, and we're goofing off. And
I don't remember that.
I know. And then we went downstairs and hung out. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
seen
like-
Eli Abrams in a long time.
I don't know. I haven't seen him either. I haven't seen him in a very long time. I mean, every time I do see him, it's like it's like I'm driving and he's driving, or it's never like I see him in person. But the greatest thing about that whole stretch was like how close everybody was. We all had like the group was ridiculously large, and we all were cool.
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of got their own beefs, and then
I feel like it's getting back to that now.
I hope so. I hope we can get everybody back. I mean, we're all in our mid-30s. You know what I mean? It's not like we're all
Yeah.
older now. It's not like we're a bunch of kids.
I'm actually allowed to hang out now, though.
Yeah, just hang
It's
out.
nice.
Just hang out.
I'm not allowed to hang out.
I'm not allowed to hang
But like,
No, I'm allowed to, I just don't.
out. He's
I
like, I
was
got a
talking
kid
to
now.
Matt the other day about like how I haven't actually hung out with you as like just doing nothing.
Yeah.
It was always like either at shows or when
Yeah.
we're actually like when we're doing the podcast and stuff. But like we never actually got to hang out, like just
Yeah.
sit around and do nothing.
That's true. And then coming over lately with, I mean, we kind of sit around and do nothing, but
Yeah.
we were like getting stuff done for the
Yeah.
for the
But
movie.
it's been nice to just like hang out.
Yeah, not have to worry about it. We were literally putting together a puzzle the other day. I put like 4 pieces in. I was like, now I get full credit for
The
doing this
puzzle that
puzzle.
was on Matt's table. Yeah, I was
that's me.
looking at that. Yeah.
I
She's
wanted
been doing it
everybody
all.
to put something in it, but no,
I have a
did.
bunch of puzzles. We should.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
let's do puzzles.
I've got
I've been doing
honestly,
this-
I have a whole
I
closet full
sat
of
and
board
did this
games and
puzzle
puzzles.
for like 9 hours.
I just don't have
yesterday.
like people come over to my house anymore. So.
I know. You still living out there
We
In
live
the
at
circle?
we live at the Heights.
in the circle?
But it's just off of the
I
circle.
know. I
but,
was just saying
um,
the circle because
yeah,
everybody knows the circle.
I don't think we're staying there after the end of the lease. I think we're gonna move and hopefully find somewhere a little bigger.
Yeah, with
Doesn't
the
have a
big
pool, so we don't have that
that scare.
responsibility throughout
Yeah.
the the year of taking care of the pool.
Well,
It's
that's
just
the
too much.
hilarious thing about like
You have a pool.
We have an in-ground pool, yeah, with a water slide.
What?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna open it this year, so you missed
Son
out.
of a
Because our
bitch.
lease is up in July, and we're not really seeing a reason to open the pool and then
Yeah.
not live there
not
anymore.
live there
Like,
at all.
Why
the
didn't you tell
owner
me
wants
you
to
had a
sell the
pool?
house, but like if she wants to open the pool, she can pay to open the pool.
She'll have to deal with it. Well, the funny thing is, like, we had made a joke a little bit before this about how like they always bring people in when you have a baby to like assess everything in your house. They ask about
Yeah.
like everything that's going on. Do you have any, have you baby proofed the house? Do you have any guns? Do you have any of that? And they probably don't even fucking ask about a pool. And that's
Yeah.
like more kids die every year in a pool than they do from
Yeah.
gunshots. So it's like they don't even ask that
It's like
question.
I'm taking home an infant. I don't think I have to worry about him getting into my guns.
Yeah,
Like,
we're gonna have to. We're not even to tummy time yet, and
Yeah.
you're worried about him rolling over into the pool or
Yeah.
like rolling over and like shooting. Pew, pew.
yeah.
What's that, dear mom? What's it, dear sister? Whatever. What you say from SNL? You guys ever seen that?
No.
I don't think
Damn
so.
it, it's such a good skit. But it's like everybody shoots each other and kills each other, and it's like Shia LaBeouf, Elijah Wood, Andy Samberg, and they.
I think I might remember that skit.
Yeah.
I leave the
What you
SNL
say?
channel on a lot. Like on Peacock, they have like an SNL channel where it just plays skits. And
Let me see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can find Dear Sister just so I can show you guys at least a little piece of it because it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, this is it. Let's see if I can pull it up. You can see a little bit of it. Well,
Maybe.
well, unless it's gonna be a douche. I think this thing has issues with moving to different
applications
platforms.
back and
Yeah,
forth.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's. I think that's the issue here. There we go. Oh, let's see. Every time I try to do something new with it, it acts insane. What you say? That you won't. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I think it's YouTube mostly is the issue here. That's not a huge deal. I figured, but it's like a funny skit where they do like a whole like a whole Dear Sister thing, and it's like, yeah, I think it just has issues playing on here because of YouTube. Yeah, it's like it wants you to connect to its own system.
Technology, man.
Technology, man, it's such a pain in the ass.
I'm gonna take a nap.
You should take a nap right now. I'll just show it here. You guys can kind of see it. Yeah, you guys don't get to see it anyway. You don't need to.
Nothing. Just writing a letter to my sister. Cool.
I forgot he was in it
That's
too.
pretty crazy. I haven't seen her in years. It's weird because
For no reason. I can't believe you guys haven't seen this before. Just what we need you to say. It's one of the like most infamous skits from that era. Check out Dear Sister SNL on YouTube. And it just keeps. Let's see if I can skip it. This is dead. And so it's just these two, and you think
It's like the Reservoir Dogs
Yeah.
scene. Yeah.
it's like seems like it's the end of it.
Too much gun violence for this
I know,
nowadays.
yeah. You can't even do this joke anymore. Let's see. This is the sister.
dear sister, by the time you read this,
That's so stupid. Check out Dear Sister on YouTube.
dear sister, by the time you read this, I'll be dead. This is how I think it's gonna happen. Dave will shoot me
get shot by Eric, Dave, and I multiple times. Love, your brother Keith. P.S. Then 2 cops will read this letter and shoot each other. Now, isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've
I told you guys it was stupid. That's why people watching the podcast are gonna be like, what the fuck? Did they just watch a whole video during the podcast? Check it out. It's Dear Sister. I swear to God, it's to me, it's still to this day one of the funniest videos I've ever seen in my life. Apparently, it has to do with like some show, like One Tree Hill, or I don't know, like some terrible like CW show where they did that song when somebody got shot. So then they got shotted.
Yeah.
Shit it shotted?
When they got shit. When they got shit.
I probably should if I got shot. Yeah.
I know. Immediately.
Fuck!
I'm shitting myself immediately as soon as I get
I'm
shot.
shitting myself now.
You're doing it right now? You're in a brown outfit. Is that Adidas outfit?
Yeah.
It is. Look at this. She's steezing in this like velour tracksuit Adidas
I'm so
outfit.
fucking fly right now.
I can't stand you at all. Oh man. Yeah, I honestly, I feel like I don't even want to get into any of these topics because I feel like we had such a great time talking about actually cool things rather than I always bring topics to like the podcast to be like, in case we don't have anything to talk about, let's talk about this. But I think at this point we probably reached our hour long limit, and then
I don't know where it says the time.
I know I need to figure that out. That's the one thing that I can't figure out because I actually
Should be.
Oh, yeah, we're at an
so
hour.
it should be down there in the
Okay.
bottom right hand
We're at an
corner
hour.
with the
It's
little
34
red thing.
seconds.
I'm gonna make it bigger.
Oh,
Yeah.
34 seconds.
See, I used to watch it on here because I did them separately, and
Yeah.
I knew like so that's how I know the time. So every time I do a new upgrade, which you're the first one to get in here with the
Oh,
mounted.
yeah, shout out to
nice
Shelby for all this
new-
cool
yeah,
shit
all the
she
new
started
It looks good
Audio.
in here. Yeah, that was the first thing I said when I came in the room. I was like, man, it looks good in
That
here.
looks-
Yeah.
That banner is so good.
Yeah, and then there's the green screen up there. You
Yeah.
kind of see. I got to get a couple of chains to hang
I
on.
was wondering if it was like a projector screen. Or...
Yeah, it's like literally like a really nice like when
it-
we were kids.
It's like actually a green screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'll pull it down and show it to you at the end. Yeah, it's
let's do some green screen music videos.
we're gonna take a picture in front of the green screen probably
Okay.
today. We're probably trying to change that up now, so it'll be. We don't have to. We'll probably do it in front of the logo. It'll probably look better. But I'm like, instead of doing it from the chairs, I wanted to get a new background when we did it so that it's not the same
Yeah.
stuff. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I've been Jordan Granger.
I've still Courtney.
I'm Justin.
Yeah, check Justin Clark out. Check out OT Services. He will detail your car, and he's got like a monthly or a yearly subscription plan.
Yearly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like once a month you can get one of your car if you have one or two cars, or let's say your car's still clean and you're like, I got my sister's car, you can bring that. So as long as it's you bringing the car, he'll do
Yeah,
it.
it's more than half price of what it would be for individual cleanings throughout the whole year.
Check out the page OT Services, and then check out our band Graygarden,
Myself.
and Courtney's movie's coming out soon. So we've got so much coming out, and I mean this is the first podcast of 2023, and I'm telling you guys, we put out so much content this year with the weekly plug coming out. We got another show that Courtney's working on that's getting ready to come out. Like, we've got a lot of new stuff, and it's gonna keep
We're
getting
doing all
bigger.
the
There's a
things.
movie. There's. I mean, we're hopefully dropping like. We probably won't drop an album this year, but we'll probably at least get in like.
Oh,
4 or 5 songs.
I think by the end of the new year we'll be dropping a new album. Jeremy's
think
got
so.
a lot of new stuff.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got some new stuff. I
I'm
haven't shown
excited.
you guys.
I'm excited for you to send me some stuff because we need you to.
I'm so self-conscious,
vibes.
man. I pick at it for quite a long time before I.
Well, that's the
give it
good
to
thing
you
about
guys.
having a group of us is that like even if like you don't have a fully fleshed out fleshbox idea, that you can at least like bring something here. Like here's like a structure, and then we can add to it because that's really what Jeremy does most of the time. Like he'll come in and be like, I want to hear this riff, and then Maddie will help, and I'll throw stuff, and you'll.
That's
throw
a lot of the
and we'll
stuff.
just-
Like the melodies are just written over him being like, "Hey, check out this riff," and it's like, "Oh, I hear something else with that."
We got some new. This whole new album next is going to be kind of a concept album about like the man underground and like mental health and stuff. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited. Been writing a lot of weird shit. Made up a new word. I made up a new word for our band. It's for a song. It's a whole song. It's not going to release it yet though. But we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for checking the Kokomo Press Podcast. We love you guys. Thank you for watching this episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast. We really appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can check us out on the Kokomo Press at Facebook, at YouTube, at Instagram, or you can follow us all on our individual accounts if you want on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. You can get our merch, or if you really, really, really want to help us out, it's only $5. You can actually subscribe to our Patreon. Check that out because we have a lot of content we want to give you guys, and we want to put more and more out, and it's starting to get expensive. So hit us up. Thank you for watching this episode of the Kokomo Press Podcast. Thank you so much. We love you. 2 kisses.